everyone. Welcome to this week's Broadway Bachelorette. I am your host, Hayley Podschun, and it is a new season. We have Claire time. I'm so excited to talk about Claire. She's been one of my favorites forever, and I have one of my favorites here with me. He is no stranger to the stage with 9 Broadway shows. If I list all of them, you're going to get tired, but here we go. Wicked, Broadway Dreams, Spelling Bee, Chorus Line, Mary Poppins, Newsies, King and I, Allegiance, Cats, and most recently of the Hamilton Tour, he is dog dad to Bandit and friend of the show, just like me with the Broadwasted podcast every single week where we talk all things theater. My friend and love, Aaron Albano!
Hi!
You look so cute!
You look beautiful.
Oh, thanks.
I hope you appreciated my it's not quite a rose, but it's my Hadestown carnation that I was like so appropriate for.
Too. Mm-hmm. When did you start watching Bachelor?
I entered Bachelor Nation during Dez's season. LOL. My ex-boyfriend got me into this franchise, and then I got too into the franchise where he was like, I don't like this anymore. And I'm like, well, I still do. So we're watching it. I think the next season was then Juan Pablo. So I got in right at Claire's rise.
Oh my gosh. Lucky you. For all of you that don't know, Claire has been on the Bachelor franchise. This is her 5th season, we're basically going to say. She is our oldest bachelorette. She is 39 years old, which we all need an adult on this show. So she started in 2014 with her Bachelor debut. She was a contestant on Juan Pablo's season, and then she did Bachelor Winter Games where she got engaged to Benoit.
I forgot she got engaged to Benoit. Wow, okay.
Yes. Cool. Girl has been around Bachelor Block, and we are so happy that she's back as our star. We deserve her.
I mean, the franchise has needed her, and I can't wait to get into just this first of many but few episodes as we're about to see.
Correct. So let's get started. This all happened obviously at the beginning of this year when COVID started to hit. So they had to quickly shut down production, not film at the Bachelor Mansion, where everyone would usually be living on top of each other, but now they're at the La Quinta in Palm Springs. I almost said San Diego.
Palm Springs, which I'm like, the La Quinta, and they keep saying the La Quinta Resort and Suites. I'm like, is this the La Quinta Inn but fancier?
I know, because that's the only La Quinta I know.
That's
so
100%. There's a La Quinta right down the street from my house. Like
in Queens?
Yeah, in Queens, next to the gas station.
So they all have to get tested. They all have to live in their own rooms, which is a treat for all these, I'm going to say contestants, because that's what they are.
Yes.
They get 100%. To live in their own rooms, which usually they don't get to.
Here's a question, because they definitely did these sort of packages instead of in their hometowns, and that way we just saw them all in quarantine. It looks like, do you feel like that was a better way to meet them? Or
I loved it.
It was very charming, and especially that edit with, I forget who it was, but he was just meditating in the different corners of his room.
Like, kept me in isolation or without resources for a long time.
Claire is the one to have post-quarantine. She's the perfect, like, relatable person of like, I've been looking for love, and now no knocking the pandemic. Well, I guess we can knock the pandemic as much as we want, but like on top of destroying everyone's lives, it has also gotten in the way of hers and therefore our search for love.
Yes. Oh, Aaron, that's a perfect way to put it. We're just going to skip ahead to the boys coming out of the limo, because what you said, I want to like tie in with this. When the guys are coming out, she's like hugging the guys, and one of them's like, you're my first hug in like 6 weeks or something. Like, that feeling is so real. I remember my first
for sure
friend hug out of quarantine was Sarah Jenkins, friend of my show. And I just like cried. I was like, oh my God, a friend. So
yeah. Well, I mean, because we're all like, us and them are so like starved for human interaction.
That physical contact, yeah. What about all of the men not wearing socks?
Yeah, it was a big look in this round. A lot of like fashion choices. I always am like, okay, but then they end up being like a hot trend of the year. So I'm like, cool, I'm just behind. Great. How'd you like her dress?
I was just gonna say, can we talk about her dress?
My lack of confidence in this area, I have my thoughts, but I'm like, but I'm not the person to be.
Well, I have a
having an
great set of
opinion.
confidence in the dress area, and I was gonna say
Go.
big fat zero. She is so, so beautiful, and that dress did nothing for her, and it made me very, very sad.
It was one of those dresses where I was like, okay, from far away, the glitz and glamour of this looks good.
Sure.
When I get close, I'm like, this looks like mosaic tile.
Yes.
It's the La Quinta of dresses, for sure.
What would be your first impression intro?
I don't know. I'd get bored. I'd be boring and probably be sent home the first night. I would like second guess everything that every like shtick that I would think about doing, and then just walk out and be awkward and probably squeeze her hands too tight like AJ.
I'm just laughing because I'm picturing you coming out of the limo, just walking like very cool and calm, and then all of a sudden you do a tour jete. Not a tour jete.
Like a soda boss.
Yep, a soda boss.
Quarantine's been too long. We don't know dance.
Nope, don't know dance at all. Okay, now speaking of the other way around, who was your favorite first impression and why?
The shtick that I liked and then disapproved of the rest was the guy that came out with the baby bump. At first, I was like, what are you doing? And then when I found out the connection, I was like, oh, you did research, you did your homework.
I thought he came out and he was wearing his quarantine 15. Like his
that would have been clever.
So that's why I was like, oh, that's clever. And then you're right. When he did the Claire throwback, I applause.
I was like, that's good. That's good research. Good job. Who was yours?
This sounds so like superficial, but I kind of love the Rolls Royce entrance.
How dare you?
I just was like, whoa. Because I'm thinking if I would have been standing there, I would have been like, are you serious? I would have been shocked.
Okay. That is something we like to forget, where it's like when you're standing there and these things come up, it's a much different effect than us on like at home, like judging these entrances.
Yes. Why with the full name? Why were they giving full names?
Oh, it was Blake Moynes and Blake Monar because they both had M's. So you couldn't do like Blake M and Blake M.
Oh God, you're right.
Literally, I like wrote it in my notes. I was like, why are we doing full last names? Oh, because they're both Blake M.
All right, we have to talk about Dale.
Yes, we do.
He's beautiful.
He's gorgeous. He's
a walking Ken doll.
Dale is a tall drink of water.
Claire's reaction to Dale.
Can I give you a prologue before that, which was already sort of red flaggy for me? But in the pre-intro, before she starts meeting men, Chris says, how does this all end for you? In a perfect world. Claire gives a big sigh and then says, to walk off into the sunset with the man of my dreams.
But that's so Claire.
Yes, but then Chris says, so a man down on one knee proposing marriage. And I said, Chris, that's not the same thing.
But Aaron, if that were any other female who was the Bachelorette and she said that, Chris Harrison would have said the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because therein lies the show.
See, I thought you were going to say they put Dale coming out of the limo last so she could have a reaction as big as she did.
She was definitely shook. And when you see someone beautiful, you can get shook, sure. But when you have that time to spin yourself in that shookness, I think it's that gap where she convinced herself that this is the man she was going to marry.
Because they've met before on Instagram chat.
Wait, I don't know any of this. What?
Oh, that's the whole thing so later on, she talked to maybe one of the Blakes and
Blake, yeah.
Blake.
Yeah.
He's so super cute. She was like, the rules are you're not supposed to talk to the contestants beforehand and you broke the rules, but I'm really glad you did. And I literally wrote, you broke the rule, Claire. Like the whole
Wait, so
now I can't say it. The whole time that she was in quarantine, this is the hot goss, is that she was talking to Dale beforehand. So now go back and watch the scene. And when he comes out of that limo, you are seeing two people who have clearly already had a back history together.
Hey. How are you?
Hi. Come on over.
I'm ready. You look beautiful.
Thank you. You look very handsome.
Thank you. I'm a hugger, so I've got a big hug for you.
I mean,
Can you believe we're finally here, right?
we've been here a long time.
Yeah, it's wild.
And their communication is very
it's different.
so different. It's,
it's Peter and Kelly. It's Peter and Kelly. I didn't even put it together.
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Were you shocked that
that Yusuf stayed?
Yosef, were you surprised that he stayed?
I mean, I knew one of them would have to stay. We've been watching this show too long to not know that one of them would have to stay. I just wasn't sure which one it was going to be. Their drama was like vintage Bachelorette.
I feel like this season is the most talked about season before it has aired, and everyone knows what happens. Like
or at least have some sort of semblance of what happened. They know Tayshia's coming, so they're like, and so instead of like the series being like, what's gonna happen, they're like, so here's how it's gonna go down. Oh wait, can I ask one more thing? Because it's you and me, we have to talk about him. The boy band manager, Kenny.
Oh my God, how have we not talked about him? Okay.
Boy band manager Kenny is 100% the guy that high school me would have had such a crush on, because he's super on brand. That is a Jive management face that you bought off of Backstreet Boy money.
Scene time?
Yeah.
I sent Aaron this scene in his email. He has not seen it yet. I would like to know if you would like to be Claire or the boys.
Host choice. What would you like me to be?
Pick one.
Okay.
I guess it's
the ring finger.
Claire. You are
okay. Okay. Something's been brought to my attention that you were talking about him and talking to a girl during quarantine.
Yes, I didn't seek that information out at all. It's a girl that goes to school in the town that I live and work, and I know her. It's a bit of a mutual friend.
What exactly did she say to you?
It was a video that had been sent like repeatedly, what seemed to be a mass message of, hi, good morning, beautiful. Hope you had a good day. And again, I told him.
Is that did you do that?
First of all, I mean, if I was going to message someone they respond to, I have more respect for myself, and I wouldn't do that to myself.
Would you accept this rose? Because apparently that's a perfect excuse.
I just loved that he was caught.
He was caught and gave a very like vice presidential debate answer.
Vice presidential debate answer.
Well, they at least let each other talk, so that's why.
That's right. Well, I can't see how the rest of this plays out.
Me too. What I'm excited for is to see how the show cobbles a believable storyline that all of these men are now believably in love with Tayshia.
I feel like some people might leave. That's just my opinion. I don't know that for sure.
I hope so. It would look good for the brand if some of them left, to be honest.
Aaron, thank you so much for being my guest for this new season.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. This was fun.
God. You're so welcome. Where can we find you on socials?
On Instagram and on Twitter at Aaron J. Albano. Some people think my full last name is Jalbano. It is not. That is a middle initial.
I have never read it that way, but that's probably just because I know you. Anything you want to promote that you're doing right now?
Well, there's this cool movie crew that I used to be in that I used to be in. Don't listen. That I am still in, that Hayley used to be in. She's currently on a leave of absence. But for Broadwasted, we watch movies and talk about them on Fridays. Mo Brady and I are still in the middle of a mini series about Tony telecasts on the Ensemblist.
Oh yeah.
So
all right, so we'll check out the Ensemblist, Broadwasted, and Aaron Jalbano.
Perfect.
Thank you so much for tuning in, you guys. And until next week, we'll see you then.